Let's get the cards on the table at the outset here. This list comes from a skeptical position, a heavily skeptical position. This is not an a priori entrenched denialist position. Rather, it is that one should always seek proof, not merely evidence, in order to move away from the doubt that is held when encountering extraordinary claims. With that said, evidence is still evidence and may indeed lead to proof. So an open mind and a willingness to consider counter-narrative positions when presented clearly and rationally is key when faced with such debates and conjectures. We good? Right then. The entries in this list are comprised of stories, footage, and other such circumstantial evidence that rise above the usual friend of a friend type gossip, phony mediums on hokey ghost hunter TV shows, or the clearly digitally manipulated videos that pollute the interwebs. Scared? You probably shouldn't be. Maybe just a little bit. Number 10. Hell of a video. It may be surprising that any case related to famed charlatans, the Warrens, of the Conjuring fame, would be on a list such as this. But the case of Maurice "Frenchy" Treault is difficult to easily dismiss as a hoax. Why would this be? Psychological reasons for odd behavior, overblown and exaggerated accounts, and a general willingness to believe in the supernatural above any rational explanation would usually suffice to sow the seeds of doubt in a story like this. Then, there's the troubling footage from his exorcism. As with many supposed victims of demonic possession, Frenchy had a very troubled upbringing. It seems his father was a brutish, violent man subjecting his son to terrible beatings. Frenchy began to notice he had gained supernatural powers, increased strength, hidden knowledge revealed to him, and the ability to be in multiple places at once. So far, so Hollywood. But during an exorcism conducted by Bishop Robert McKenna, with the Warrens close by for, moral support, things get pretty weird, and not in the usual growling and body contortion sort of way. The slow morph of Maurice's face seen in the video of his exorcism is really freaky. Given that this case occurred in the mid-80s, years before the sophisticated CGI tech we have today, it is hard to believe that anyone involved would have had access to the Hollywood editing required to stage the footage without jump cuts. There is more than this to the story. His father had killed his mother before killing himself in 1982. So there's plenty of precedent beyond the supernatural for what happened next in 1992. Frenchy succumbed to his violent urges, attempting to murder his estranged wife, shooting her in the arm outside her Massachusetts home with a shotgun. He then turned the gun on himself. Number 9. Exchanging tinfoil hats for tinfoil crowns. Finally! Cried all the UFO true believers when this footage was leaked. Hold your horses though, all this stuff is not proof of the existence of aliens. It is simply proof that the US authorities know and study the phenomenon of UFOs. In and of itself, this is as close to proof that UFO fans and fanatics have ever gotten. You must admit, skeptics, it's all quite intriguing. The leaked footage is pretty amazing stuff. This one feels more real. But as compelling as this video is, it's not proof of the supernatural. Rather, it's proof that there are phenomena that even the most heavily funded and expert institutions on Earth cannot yet explain. Number 8. The body in the Billings Reservoir. A body was found near a reservoir outside of the city of Sao Paulo, Brazil in 1988. The man was seemingly tortured to death, facial skin peeled back, eyes pulled out, eyelids cut off, entire muscles had been removed, symmetrically aligned puncture wounds all over the body with accompanying cauterization, multiple organs removed without an obvious incision save a small hole, suggesting the organs have been sucked out. The victim was also drained of his blood. Furthermore, the man had probably been conscious during the whole ordeal, given that there was no sign of anesthetic in his system. There was also a cerebral edema, suggesting extreme pain. Cause of death: cardiac arrest during extreme agony. Official verdict: death from natural causes. It seems that authorities may have rather poorly covered up this case. Perhaps it was due to the awful, gruesome details being too alarming for the public. Perhaps there is some darker conspiracy afoot here. Given the similarity between this case and the cattle mutilations often touted as evidence of alien experimentation, it's hard not to allow the possibility that we humans may be viewed as guinea pigs by some advanced alien species. Number 7. A better way to look at the missing 411 phenomenon. Author and former police detective David Paulides' work on collating and examining the many thousands of unexplained missing person cases that occur in the USA's national parks is entertaining stuff. Is it convincing? Not really, no. But it is the reason it lacks credibility as a working theory that is interesting here. Paulides and his supporters seem to instinctively try to join up some invisible dots, fashioning a joined-up, all-encompassing conspiracy that will explain each and every case of missing people in the national parks of the US. We don't need to do that. Scrap the grand narrative approach and take each case on an individual basis, and you'll see that there are far more fascinating and better evidence of possible explanations beyond our current understanding than Paulides' loftier claims. Paulides' work has brought new life and fresh eyes to some truly baffling cases. Cases that may point to something we cannot explain with conventional science. Avoid the web weaving and we may find something truly extraordinary. Number 6. Co-twincidence. Here we have a pair of twins separated at birth. Some degree of similarity is to be expected. I mean, they are genetically identical. But these coincidences are incredible. Both were named James by their respective adoptive parents and went by Jim. One named his first son James Allen and the other James Allen. Both men married a woman named Linda. After both men divorced their respective Lindas, they both married women named Betty. They both named their dogs Toy, and they both worked as deputy sheriffs. They both liked to vacation on the same beach in Florida. They both developed tension headaches when they were 18. They both smoked. They smoked the same brand of cigarettes. It could simply be the interplay between nature, nurture, and environment, but both marrying Linda, then Betty? There has to be some degree of ESP going on here, surely. Probably not, but it's all very strange. Number 5. Unexplained sounds and mysterious lights. Mysterious loud hums, ringing sounds, low rumbles, and trumpet-like blares are heard the world over, causing wonder and confusion by all who hear them. Strange lights in the sky, or floating up from bodies of water, or dancing on the horizon also seem to have an unexplained phenomenon for centuries. What the hell is going on? Well, we don't really know. The strange noises have been suggested as coming from heavy industrial machinery, fast-moving air currents shearing against slower currents, biogases from decaying vegetation, or God heralding the end of days. Strange lights are suggested as being marsh gases, again, optical illusions caused by mist and car headlights, missile tests, ball lightning, radon decay from rocks causing plasma bursts, or God signaling the end of days via Morse code. Number 4. Live, die, repeat. Reports of paranormal activity are often met with derision. It doesn't help when the individual or family that is being pestered by a poltergeist, demon, vampires, haunted doll, gremlin immediately calls the wrong person to help them. They never call the police. They never try to get clear, irrefutable photos or video evidence. Do they ever get in touch with a decent investigative journal to experience the phenomenon for themselves? No. They call a paranormal expert, a medium, a ghost hunter, a TV crew. One guy who rose above the colossal dung heap that is the paranormal expert community was Canadian academic Ian Stevenson. Stevenson's research into reincarnation in children is thorough, maybe the only peer-reviewed body of work on the paranormal which is taken remotely seriously. Even ardent skeptics like astronomer Carl Sagan respected his work, writing in his seminal work, The Demon-Haunted World. At the time of writing, there are claims in the ESP field which deserve serious study, that young children sometimes report the details of a previous life. which upon checking turn out to be accurate, and which they could not have known about in any other way than reincarnation. Wow! However, as compelling as Stevenson's collected anecdotes are, they're just that, anecdotes, not proof. That would require rigorous experimentation. So far, we have nothing else to indicate that reincarnation occurs. We cannot rely on Stevenson's work as more than just a tasty academic snack, not a fully satiated meal of proven theory. To illustrate this, Carl Sagan's next line reads, "I picked this claim not because I think it's likely to be valid, I don't, but as an example of a contention that might be true." Number 3. Strange objects out of place and out of time. First, the Anachthera mechanism, an uncommon but not unheard of invention in ancient Greece. Second, the Baghdad batteries, 2 storage jars with some acidic residue that was probably a rotted papyrus scroll. And third, the Koso artifact, a rusty spark plug. No mysteries here, except that damned hammer. Discovered in 1936 in London, Texas, this modern-looking tool was found encased in a 400-million-year-old limestone concretion. Clearly, it must have been made by an ancient race of giants from Jupiter. Well, maybe not. The hammer seems to be a miner's hammer from the era it was discovered. There is also a theory posited as to how the hammer could have become encased in the limestone in a relatively short period. The soluble material found in limestone could have formed around a dropped hammer in a petrifying well, a natural occurrence that is due to water containing an extremely high mineral content. Okay, plausible, likely even. If so, then where are the thousands of other examples that would have doubtlessly occurred? Number 2. Terminal spinal tap drummer syndrome. All sorts of animals explode. Whether it is a rotting whale on a beach, Vietnamese termites that will rupture themselves to defend their pals from attackers, or when bored teenagers strap dynamite onto gerbils. Animals can blow up naturally. But what about people? There have been many cases of spontaneous human combustion throughout history, baffling relatives, medical examiners, and scientists alike. Why and how does this happen? Many theories have been floated over the years. Heart attack plus cigarette equals slow-burning wick effect and very concentrated burn area. Ketosis in victims caused by alcoholism or low-carb diets leading to a buildup of highly flammable acetone. Mistaken spontaneity. Intentional self-immolation in order to commit suicide. Unidentified external accelerant inability to move, e.g. stroke, morbid obesity, demonic possession, during immolation. Maybe every case is one of the above. Maybe it's some of the above and there remains some paranormal force that causes these weird cases. Either way, what an awful way to go. Number 1. Angel hair and star jelly. Wouldn't it be nice if these old phenomena were actually the hair of angels and jelly thrown down to the earth by the stars? For all we know, they may well be. Scientists haven't yet solved these twin mysteries from the natural world conclusively. Theories on angel hair, thin metallic-looking strands that look like spider webs that turn up on tree branches and bushes, range from an accidental littering of industrial byproducts finding their way into nature, polarized atmospheric electricity forming filaments out of dust particles, or biological matter produced by some insect. Or it's caused by UFOs taking off. Star jelly seems to be a bit easier to explain, just not conclusively. It's frog puke, probably. Or caused by UFOs taking off. Different UFOs from the ones that make angel hair, of course.